Hello everyone, it's CreativeNameToStandOut again with another battle report, and it's Game 3, the final game of that local GW tournament in Bowie, Maryland. And this is a special game because it's actually against another YouTuber, Nicholas Bullard, and it's going to be a really fun game. I'm going to link to his channel in the description, but I'm also going to link to his video that he made about our game at the end of the video like I usually do for my playlist, so keep an eye out for that. So Game 3, I'm naming squatter rights because we're supposed to capture a piece of terrain. We each pick one. He was the smarter player, picked the one in the center. I picked the prettiest looking one I saw on the board, and we made a game of it. So in order to control a piece of terrain, you have to have a unit within 3 inches, and I'm assuming that you couldn't have any opponent units near it. So that wasn't really explained to us. But I think that if I were to use common sense, that's probably what I would have used. So you get a point at the end of each round, and then since Nick actually outnumbered me by wounds by quite a bit, I got a couple more bonuses. He nominated his wizard and his Bloodrack Shrine as 2 things I would need to destroy to get more points. So that was going to be hopefully something that I could take care of before the game ended, which was really weird. I wasn't expecting him to have so many wounds on the table. So many more wounds on the table, being that I actually can summon stuff in, but I guess that's how it is sometimes. So this was the only game I remember to take pictures as we were deploying, and that's something I want to always capture because I think it's one of the most tactical things about the game is just matchups and doing and responding to things as your opponent is setting them down. Here we have his 10 executioners. Then we have my 10 blood warriors right across from them. Those executioners were in the tower I'm trying to capture. A Bloodrack Shrine is next. I then capture the center with my Skull Reapers. He lays down his chariot on his far right flank, my left. In response, I put down my 10 Chaos Warriors, Mark of Tzeentch. I try my best to get a good picture. This is his sorceress. Then we have my general, the Expiring Deathbringer. He responds with a Hydra. I then lay down in response to that my Fatty McFat, the Bloodstoker. Then we have his second Hydra. This was scary, actually. Then I put Mr. Slaughter Priest Ordo. And then he puts down his Doomfire, Warlocks. I don't think I have... Nope. Kekus the Pyromancer. And then he puts his last 2 units, which is his General. I think that's his General, but a Lord. And then 10 Cold One Knights. Since I got done deploying first, I went first, and the first thing I do is try to get out some demons before he's able to get in range to stop me. So I summon a demon prince, and you can see him here. We'll get an overview of the board now. I also cast an arcane bolt at that Bloodrack Shrine, trying to get some wounds on there as fast as I can because I know eventually I need those points. And then I start pushing everything forward. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with my left flank yet. I'm actually pushing them up, not even thinking about it. And it's not going to be till about halfway through the game that I realize I have no plan for them whatsoever. So that's really bad on me. But otherwise, I'm going to try my best to capture the tower. I don't really have a solution to keep him from getting points from the house because he is much faster than I am. But I figured if I can just get in there and contest... then that's good enough, and then maybe I could fight my way to the tower and get a point also. And so that pretty much concludes my turn, and we go into Dark Elf turn 1. These Hydras are going to move up and blow some fire in my direction. He's going to have this chariot shoot some arrows at my Tzeentch warriors, and then these guys, I think, are casting spells or throwing some weapons. I don't remember. Overall, his shooting is fairly minor. The biggest thing of note is that he puts 2 wounds on my Greater Demon, and then he goes in for some charges. Now, both of the Hydras try to get in. He falls a little bit short with the one on the left, but the one on the right gets in pretty easily. He does some minor damage there. I think he ends up killing one of my Blood Warriors. And in return, I actually put a moderate amount of damage on him, and it has me hoping that he doesn't get the next turn because I do not want him to heal. Of course, when you wish for something like that, it's bound to go against you, and that's what happens here. He gets the next turn. That means he's going to heal up these 3 wounds on the Hydra. I think I end up doing 4. He then uses Doom Bolt to, I guess, transfer those 3 wounds to him, and he moves up with the rest of his stuff into relatively easy charge ranges. He even moves up the Executioners from the piece of terrain I'm trying to capture because, you know, the best defense is a good offense. The Cav come around to face off against my Tzeentch Warriors, who get a guy knocked off thanks to a chariot. And at this point I realize, what am I doing with these warriors? There's no way I'm going to advance forward into that Cav charge. So this is has me thinking I need to turn around. We continue with the shooting phase with the Medusa staring into my Skull Reapers, and then the Hydra following up with some flame attacks. And it ends up with just one of my Skull Reapers dying, so I count myself lucky there. And then we go into the charges, and I think this is one of the 2 best pictures, the second one being this one, of course. I just love this. This is a great-looking picture, very cinematic. And they look like, my Blood Warriors look like they have a tough job ahead of them, trying to take out 2 Hydras. So we go into combat next. And so despite the fact that he's just charged me with this Hydra, and he has 2 of them in the same combat, with the help of the Skull Reapers, and my Blood Warriors having the special rule where they can attack, and then if they die, they attack again. And I got those Gore Fists, so if I deflect any if I make any armor saves, I can deflect some into mortal wounds. I end up doing a ton of wounds to both of these Hydras, putting them down to 1 and 2 wounds respectively. Unfortunately, I don't kill them outright, which is a little too bad. But I do have them on their last leg. But you know what else? Despite me being able to claim this victory into combat, Nick has these Hydras doing the best thing they could be doing, and that's really crowding me right here. I can't get any closer, so I can't contest the middle objective, so he's going to get another free point possibly at the end of the round, and I am making no progress pushing forward towards my objective. We get into my turn 2, and I start activating all my extra attack bonuses. So I throw the totem into the ground for the Blood Secator. I have my Aspiring Deathbringer give out his command ability, and so I have a ton of attacks being generated now with those Hydras, hoping to take them out finally. Now with another bolt into the Bloodrack Shrine, I think this thing only has 4 wounds left, so I send my Demon Prince in there. It's the first thing I can finally get some points for, so I don't want to lose that opportunity and have him start walking away from me. I also charge my Slaughter Priest to help out the 2 units. I figure I can do 2 damage to this Hydra. I can kill it because it's the one with the 2 wounds. And we just go straight into combat. And unfortunately, despite all those extra attacks, I'm just not able to carry it through. And I even lose my Slaughter Priest. So this round was some good armor saves on Nick's part. And that's too bad because he's going to get the next turn and probably heal those wounds. And heal he does. So now his Sorceress gets ready to cast the magic. I'm not able to stop it, so that's 3 wounds on my Demon Prince from an Arcane Bolt. And after that, really, there's not much for him to do except to declare charges. No reason to move too much. So the Knights come charging into my Demon Prince. An Assassin pops out of the dress of that Sorceress. And after the combat, I think the Assassin himself just killed my Demon Prince. We move over to the bottom right, and with the 2 Hydras and the Executioners now joining the fray, I'm just going to start losing Blood Warriors left and right. But on the bright side, in his death throw, this Blood Warrior is able to take out the blue Hydra, and so things are still looking bad, but at least I took out one of the Hydras, and the last Hydra is on its last leg. Going into the bottom of 3, I actually have something that never has happened before for me, and it was kind of awesome. The Tzeentch Sorcerer Lord, if he rolls doubles, he gets to cast another spell. So when I was casting my summoning spell for the Flamers, I rolled a double and I was able to cast again, and I used it to cast Arcane Bolt, which helped me kill off that Hydra in my hero phase. This is going to free up my Skull Reapers, which allows me to push forward. I don't think I took a picture of this before I did it, but I push forward and I charge into those Warlocks. So was able to pick up a lot of ground there in this turn. Very critical. I hope I get the next though. So since my Demon Prince failed to kill the Bloodrack Shrine, I still need to kill it so I can get that extra bonus point. So I go ahead and charge my General in there. He looks so awesome. This model, he looks like he's so killy, but he's actually not too killy. He can do 8 attacks, but I don't know, he's just not that great. So, but I'm going to send him in there and we'll see how he does. And then I just throw Fatty McFat into the executioners just to hopefully tie them in place so they don't go after my Skull Reapers too soon. And alright, so I do get the next turn, which is pretty awesome. Of course, at the end of that turn before, I only had one model within 3 inches of the terrain piece that Nick's trying to capture, while he has a ton of dinosaurs nearby. So he does win an extra point there because he has a couple more dinosaurs than I do models near the house. But I'm not too worried. I see my opportunity to finally get my guys on that terrain piece, and for the first time, I think in any game, I've called a tactical retreat. My Skull Reapers decide they don't need to stick around to kill that one last Warlock. They're going to pull out, get near that terrain piece, and I'm going to bring these Flamers, as you can see here, to just shoot down that last Warlock. So that's the plan, and it works. So nice. The Aspiring Deathbringer brings down the Bloodrack Shrine. It was on 1 wound, so it took me 16 attacks to finally do him in, but at least I don't have to worry about it, and it's a free point. We go over to Fatty McFatterson, and they help him lose some weight there by chopping off his head. The executioners knock him out, and we move into Dark Elf 4. So I'm done. I captured that terrain piece. Well, I have to wait till the end of the round, so my hope is that he doesn't make his charges, and actually, he doesn't. He ends up rolling an unbelievable amount of ones. I think it was three or 4. It was just, the first time it happened, you're like, bad luck. He went for the chariot first, trying to help out with the general and assassin combat, I mean. But he failed that one. You're like, well, if he's going to fail one, I guess now's the time, and at least it's that one. Then he proceeded to fail again with the cold ones into the Skull Reapers, which I breathed a sigh of release because I wanted to at least get 1 point for the mission, so that was good. And then when you thought it was over, he does it again with the executioners, and then at that point it was just a joke. So bad luck there at the end, but he didn't really need this. He was already ahead. And so that's the perfect transition for the final score, which was 4-2. Since he failed that last charge with those Cold One Knights, it gave me the points for the Skull Reapers controlling the tower, but it also just kept him in that 3-inch bubble around the house, which gave him another point. So I tried to catch up, but I couldn't, and that's just how it goes sometimes. This was just a really great game. It was great to meet Nick. It was fantastic to play a game where we were just completely fully painted. My second game, I guess I'm wrong again. So game 2 was also fully painted. I failed my opponent by not painting those Skull Reapers, and the same thing goes here. I failed, and I'm so sorry, but I just didn't want to bring Blood Reavers. I already knew starting off the bat that this type of format was not going to be friendly to 1 wound models, not to mention 1 wound models that have no armor save, so I wasn't going to bring them. I had just bought the Skull Reapers. I was going to put them on the table, and they were going to serve a better purpose than anything else I had. Unfortunately, they weren't painted. But that's how it goes sometimes. So I'm sorry about that to all my opponents, even though I'm sure they don't really care that much. I wish I would have painted them beforehand. But I'm tired, and I don't want to do that sometimes. So overall, I liked this mission. I think it was incomplete. I think it could be refined for a better experience. But, I mean, it's a capture control mission. It was good enough. So this tournament was pretty laid back, very casual, I would say. It was more of like a feeling out of how we would want to run a tournament. It was really small, and I think there was a lot of good things to take away from it, and then there's things that could, of course, be improved. And I know that the shop owners seemed pretty engaged to have some criticisms and some feedback, at least for these missions. And so if he's open to that, then I'm sure they'll be improved upon for future events. So that's pretty much it. Now, keep in mind, I'm actually running a tournament this coming June 4th. I have 6 people signed up. If I get my stuff in through, I've shipped my stuff from Hawaii to Maryland. If I get it all shipped in, I'll have another table so I can host 8 people, and I hope that happens. And I think it's going to be a great tournament for my first tournament, that is. And I would encourage anybody in the Maryland area to email me at CreativeNameToStandOut@gmail.com. If you want to follow the Google page profile I'm pretty sure my email is posted up there. Let me know, and I can I can give you the rundown. If you can send me a list, I'd be glad to accept it. But as of right now, just to be honest with you, I do have all the spots filled. It's just that if I get my table in, I can accommodate 2 more people. So Just FYI for anybody out there. So again, I hope you enjoyed this battle report. I thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody's subscriptions and likes. I always love to hear people's comments, and I'll see you guys next time.